Live. Are we live? Yes, we are live. We are alive and well and beautiful and happy. I hope everyone is. I am just waiting on David. What's up? I am not the main attraction. I am just a guest. Here he is. Put this hat on. Probably shouldn't take that hat on. What's up?
What's going on, Eeland?
What's up, David?
Nice to meet you, I guess, in
I know.
this virtual way.
Finally. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
I can't complain.
Hang on, Jeff. I gotta figure this out real quick.
Yeah, I brought mine up on like a lamp.
Yeah, I got mine up against a box right now, so. All right, is that good? Sweet. All right, no, hang on.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Noob tying session. I am the Noob. I'm Eeland Stribling. We got David here. He's the professional who's going to be showing how to tie. What are we tying today, David?
We're gonna tie a Mini Leech. It's kind of like a variation on that Landon Meyer pattern. You know,
Nice.
You probably know of him from Colorado. So
yeah.
When I first tried to tie it, I didn't have all the materials, so I just kind of freestyled it, and this is how I've just been tying it since. So it's been working really well for me, and hopefully it'll work for you too.
Yeah. Bree said you're a pro brown trout slayer.
I try. I get lucky.
What I got two different threads here. Oh, I just want to give a shout out to all the people who, helped this happen. Confluence Collective, Women on the Fly United. Thank you guys for being here. Anglers All, thank you guys, Anglers All and HMH Vice for sending us all this. Brown Folks Fishing, shout out to the family. What thread should I go with here, David?
I would use that. What is that? An olive?
Yeah, it's like brown olive.
Yeah, I would use that one.
Okay.
That's good. I'm going to use black. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can really use whatever color you want. I like to use a darker thread just to match the leech color.
Okay.
But it really doesn't matter that much. You can try it with like a bright color too. That'll work just fine. And yeah, it's super cool. Thank you, Confluence Collective and Bree and everyone that's helped set this thing up. It's super cool. I've never done anything like this, and I'm excited. All right, so let's see. So, Eeland, I know you're out in Colorado. Are you in Denver?
Yep, born and raised.
Nice. So I actually lived out in Colorado for 3 years, and I was in Boulder for a year, and then I lived in Denver for 2.
Did you like it?
I did like it. It was nice. Unfortunately, I didn't start fly fishing until like 2 months after I moved back east.
Damn.
Yep. So I gotta get back out there.
Absolutely. I'm every weekend I'm planning on a road trip somewhere to go get away and see if I can get some trouble.
And I'm sure there's a lot of cool spots that you can go to that are more off the beaten path out there too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so now I'm actually back in New York. I was born in downstate New York, and now I'm living actually in Manhattan. So quarantined up in our little apartment here.
Is there what's the closest fishing to you? I cannot get this goddamn.
We get spots all within an hour, so we try and go to, and there's a couple of spots we know where, they're not as crowded, luckily, so we try and find a parking lot or a pull-off where we don't see anyone now and just stay away.
Yeah, but, yeah, I mean,
from New York, when we can travel a little more, within like 3 or 4 hours, we'll go fish a lot of New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, PA. There's a lot of good fishing around here.
Nice, man. What's the farthest out west you've ever fished?
I actually did end up fishing Colorado once. About a year after I started fly fishing, I flew out there to do a little work, and I had 2 days. So where did I go? I went to Deckers, fished like right by the bridge there.
Nice.
And then I fished like a little bit just right in Boulder.
Nice.
Nice. All right, so you got your thread through?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hang on. Let me get mine set up here.
I know people are laughing at me, but look, we happen.
Happens. Can't get mine either. Hang on. All right. So what kind of materials do you have?
All right, I got either dark olive or black rabbit zonkers tails.
Okay. I got olive and black as well.
I got tungsten beads.
Cool.
I got the jig hooks.
Sweet. Let's get mine out.
I got the mid diamond braid black.
Sweet. That'll work.
And I also have peacock herl.
Yep, that's what I use instead of the ostrich herl. I just never found ostrich herl, and then I just kept tying it with the peacock herl. So
Cool.
that'll be for like a little collar at the top of the fly there. All right, and you got scissors, you got your bobbin.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, so I'm going to get my bead. I have the bead locker here, which I highly recommend. They sell them at like Michael's, and you could just get a whole kit and just fill them with different size beads. Let's see. And you have are your beads slotted? Do you know?
What's that mean?
So for like a jig hook, you generally will use a slotted bead, which means that instead of like just two holes on either side, like one side has actually like a slot so that you could slide it over the bend, like the angled part of the hook. But if it's not, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think so.
That's cool. It'll just seat up as far as it'll go, and it's not a problem. I actually can't find my slotted beads either. Hang
on.
Thought they were right here.
Why people are laughing why are you guys laughing in there? What's funny in this?
We can't find any of our stuff.
I
thought I got it all out. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, it'll fish. It'll still fish. I hope. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just got a new phone. Yeah, you heard that right, Faith. I said I hope.
You got an iPhone?
I did. I got an iPhone, and all I've been doing is taking pictures of my dog and nature. So
that's what it's for. Let's see. All right. So found my bead. Now I get my hook. And I tie these anywhere from like a size 10 down to like a 14.
Yeah, we're rocking the size 12 right now. People.
Nice. Yeah, I got a 10 here. It might be a little easier to see. So if you do get slotted beads, part of the hook.
Gotcha.
So if it's not going all the way forward when you do it, you just kind of spin it until it sets in place.
Gotcha.
All right. So secure the hook here. So you've done this a couple times. You did one with Mario, right?
I did do one with Mario, yeah. Which I haven't caught a fish on those flies, but I'm not blaming him personally.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I remember that. That was a sweet pheasant tail.
Yeah.
I never thought to do it on a crappy jig hook there.
Yep. Yep. Getting down and dirty.
All right. Okay. So once your hook's secure, I usually just give it a little press, make sure it doesn't move at all. Solid. All right. And then, so just start your thread right behind the bead. You remember how to do that?
Yep. Yep. And if anyone says I'm doing it wrong, it's okay to yell at me.
As long as the thread's on there and it stays together, it doesn't matter. All right. So I usually wind it back a good bit. Maybe like halfway, just make sure it's really secure. And then trim off that extra thread. How do you like this loon bobbin?
I love it a lot.
Honestly, I didn't like it at first because I had one where there's a knob and you could adjust your tension.
Yeah.
So I wasn't used to it, just kind of like adjusting it with your hand.
Uh-huh.
But once I got the hang of it, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I have a problem with, I can't show you the bobbin because I'm not wearing pants right now. But
I almost didn't wear pants too. It's cool. I was actually just saying how I might do that,
but it does this sometimes when I let go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it like slowly just drops. I just prop it up like
I
that.
wonder if next time, if you like before you put your thread in, just try and squeeze it tight together. It might have just gotten kind of loose.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, but we'll manage.
All right.
Ready? So I just start, and I'll bring that thread all the way back, just right to about where the hook bend is.
All right.
All right, and then I actually just bring it all the way back up, and it doesn't matter. They don't have to be super tight or touching on the way back up. I like to cover the hook shank with thread first, just so that I feel like the materials kind of sit better on it than just the bare hook shank where they might slide around a little bit.
Okay.
All right, and then the first thing we're gonna tie in here is, mine's a little different. I have this like diamond braid. I think it's pretty much the same as you've got. Yep. So I'll cut off, I don't know, maybe 6 inches. And then you could use it for multiple flies if it's too much.
I think that's 6.
That'll work.
All right.
Okay. So then I'm just gonna tie this in right behind the bead, and then just tie it in all the way down to where your thread ends at the hook bend. So usually,
I can kind of tuck it behind the bead head.
Yeah, you can. And then if like you have some coming out, if it's easier to like leave a little material over the bead, you could just cut that off after.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do that, or another thing I'll do is, if it's easier, I'll like have excess in front. I'll do my first wrap around it, not super tight, and then you could just kind of pull it through to where you want it.
Oh.
And then I'm not sure if you've ever had this, but sometimes when I try and tie in a material and you like try and capture it and your thread kind of jumps like forward in front of your bead and doesn't go the right way, like the tension on the thread is a little weird. If you like give your bobbin a counterclockwise spin, by spinning it, when you kind of release the tension, it actually goes the other way, so it kind of goes over your material as opposed to over the front of the hook.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, it's a cool little trick. All right. Oh shit. Oh, I just pulled it out. Let's see. All right, so you don't have to do touching wraps or anything. Just bring it back. And this really, just wherever you think looks right. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like a flashy underbody.
All right.
Sweet. All right, so now bring your thread back to the front. All right, so now I take the material, and you're just I wrap away from me. I find it easier, and you just do slightly touching wraps all the way pretty much up to the bead. You can leave a little space just so you don't accidentally crowd the front of the fly at the end.
All the way to the bead, but
I
the
would
little,
leave just like a tiny bit of space between the bead and where you end.
okay.
And then once you're there, you can just capture it with your thread. Just go right over it. Sick. All right. So now I just give it a couple extra wraps just to make sure it's secure.
All right.
All right. And then you could just trim off the excess here.
Oh, damn, that was not.
You could tie a bunch more with that. All right. So next, we're going to get rabbit strip.
Should I go green or black? Olive or black? Probably black.
I like black, but olive works too. You could tie it in white. You could tie it in whatever color you want, but I usually, black's the go-to color for me.
Yeah.
All right. So then you can get, you could use like a whole strip if you want to tie it in. It doesn't really matter. Now, you can take like the very front of it, and you kind of see how I'm peeling some of the fur back towards the front, and just pull it off so that you have a little bare spot. That's where you're going to tie it in. It's a little easier. Sometimes I don't even do that, but it can help. All right, so there's a couple things that make it a little easier if you want. I don't usually do this either, but if you want, so you know how it's like flat at the top?
Mm-hmm.
You can cut like the two little corners off to make it like a point, and it might be a little easier to tie in. So like of the strip part. So if you just like, you can make it into a point, or you could just kind of tie it in the way it is. If you just set it right on top of the hook shank. And I kind of like pinch it down around it so it holds in place.
Okay.
And then just secure it.
And we're putting the end of it right at the head of the base of the head.
Yeah, so I would go like just a little bit before you get to the bead as well, because you want to leave a little space for the peacock herl.
Gotcha.
So I don't know, maybe like a little less than a 1/4 inch. And these are real simple. We can tie a second one. We could add some flash to it if we've got some time. So
Yeah, I think we're cooking.
all right. So now, same thing. This part I'll just throw a couple tighter wraps in just to make sure that strip really stays in place.
Okay.
And then I'll bring the thread back a little, go back towards the hook bend.
Cool.
Just a little bit. So let's see if I can, hang on. If you can kind of see about how far back I brought the thread.
Yep.
Right there. All right. And then you're going to want to bring the thread up to the bead again. So now this is where I'll usually trim it down to length. You can play with it. Sometimes I leave it longer. Sometimes I cut it too short. I'll usually try and leave it too long by accident as opposed to too short, so you can cut more off. And what you want to do here is you don't want to just kind of like cut over everything because you'll trim all the fur.
Right.
So usually, let's say like you want the strip, like the bottom strip part, maybe about 1 inch total from the bead. So what I'll do is kind of like stick my scissors under the fur and try and cut just the strip.
Okay.
Another thing you can do is if you like wet your fingers, you can like peel the fur forward and make a split where you want to cut it. You can kind of just like gel it forward there. And then you just snip off the excess.
Measure once, cut once.
Try. All right, so now That's it. And if it's longer than you'd like, just trim it a little more.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's see the peacock herl. I like to use like 2 or 3 strands. Let's see. You get out at all recently? Doing any fishing?
Yeah, I was out this weekend bumming around just looking for some new water, trying to chase some rumors.
Nice.
That's about it, you know? What about you?
I got out one day this past weekend too.
Nice.
Finally feeling pretty warm around here, so. All right, so with the peacock herl, I'll cut off, so you know how like there's like the thicker part, it's
Yeah.
a little rougher. I'll trim off just a bit of that. Perfect. And then now you just tie it in right behind the bead. So I try and tie it like the first wrap kind of close to the bead if you can. Hang on. I got a beverage here. Shout out to Mario, Taco Flaco. I forgot it was sitting here.
Taco Fly.
Have a special beer. That is good.
I got water. I've been drinking too much.
That's good too. You got to stay hydrated. All right. So then you just want to bring your thread back and just kind of tie in the peacock herl to the point where you kind of stopped your thread before, just so you leave that gap between the herl and the bead. So just tie it back a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Same thing. Then you just bring it back to the front, your thread. All right. So now you want to take all your strands and just kind of make sure you have good tension on it. And then just wrap away from you and just slowly wrap up towards the bead. And sometimes if you want a little more herl, like I'll wrap over itself a couple times just to make it a little fatter.
Okay.
And if the strands separate, it's all right. They'll all end up at the front, so. All right, so once you've got it up to the bead,
Yep.
you just
Now, I'll see if I can show you guys real quick.
let's see.
So, for this, should I make this wrap and make it like kind of over the head of the bead, or is it just?
I would go like just right up to the back of the bead, but if it goes over a little, it's fine because you'll just put the thread behind the herl and just capture it right behind the bead.
Okay.
So pretty much just right up to the bead is where you kind of want it.
Dang.
Yep, and then you capture it. Give it like 3, 4, 5 extra wraps just to make sure it's in place. And then I see people just rip the herl off. I've done it a couple times and the whole thing comes undone, so I cut it. It's a simple fly. That's pretty much it. We can do one, got some time here with a a little bit of extra flash. But then you have a whip finish tool?
Nope, I have my fingers and that's it.
That works. The finger twist?
Yeah.
All right, so this is, then you just, I'll do it with you. So for everyone, it's kind of hard to explain, but pretty much you take your two fingers, you make a loop, and then you put it over the bead, and then you just tighten. Do it a couple times. And if you want a whip finish, so the first time I tried to do this, I think I sat there. I watched a video, and I couldn't figure it out for like 20 minutes. Let's see.
Yeah, I learned once a really long time ago, and I was just like, that's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah,
Like,
I sat there on the couch, super frustrated, and I gave up for a bit. So try and explain it as best as I can. So there's the little hook on your whip finisher at the front here. You take it, face it away from you, put your thread in, and then you're going to come around this loop here, right here, and then it makes like a figure 4 shape. I don't know if you could see that. And then you just bring it up, and then you just spin a couple times, usually 4 or 5 turns. And then it comes off a little nub. You keep your tension, you pull, tighten it. That's it. And I like to do 2 just in case.
let's see the comparison.
All right.
Let me see what you got.
Let's see. Let's see if you can see that.
That's not so bad, eh?
No, that looks good, man. Let's see. Get a better view. And I like these flies a lot because it doesn't really matter how you fish them. You can fish them like a nymph and dead drift. And then I like to let it swing at the end. And then I'll just let it hang in the current because it can be a little bait fish. It could be a leech. It could be, I don't really know what it's supposed to be, to be honest. I guess a leech, but fish just eat it because it moves. I've had a couple of times just walking up stream with it, looking for a new spot. I just leave it in the water and a fish will eat it. So
Does it? Is this too much tail? Is this too much ass on her? You know.
no, I think that's a good amount of ass.
Nice.
Let's see. Yeah, you could tie all different sizes. That looks good to me.
And this is my like little tacky fly holder that I keep all my new flies on.
That's super cool, actually.
Yeah.
I gotta get one of those. You could stick it to something too?
Yeah, you can like peel this off and it's sticker, and then it has like a little Velcro piece, and I'm gonna stick it somewhere in my truck, so I just have all my.
That's cool. I was just thinking that I want to put one like in the car.
Yeah.
That's super cool. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got some time. You want to do another one?
Let's do it.
You have a crystal flash or something like that?
No, I only have this. Whatever we just use.
Gotcha. That diamond braid stuff. So let's see.
I got some nail polish. I learned that nail polish is kind of like a head cement. So
yes, it is. So you can actually put a little dab just right on if you want. Hold it in place. I used to put head cement on all my flies, and then I realized I just lost them before it even mattered.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't do it anymore.
If you're fly tying on a budget, I found these scissors in my sister's nail kit.
Nice.
Like nail trimmers, and I was like, hey, do you have any old nail polish that's clear? And she gave me this old one, and I was like, dope. And that's head cement and scissors. So
that's all you need. You don't need all the fancy stuff. You can find anything. I mean, you could tie this fly, I'm sure, with some stuff you find around your apartment. So
yeah,
you could use anything you want for the body, really. You could use like chenille. You can just, I don't know, cut up some random strips of like Ziploc bags and just use that or something.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do another one.
Let's do it.
What do they say? You gotta master a fly. You gotta tie a dozen.
Shit, we don't know about that. Also, sorry to everyone who saw me get up and saw I wasn't wearing pants. I tried to hide it, but um, how long have you been tying?
That's the beauty.
Just in general.
What's that?
How long have you been tying flies?
I've been tying flies. Let's see. I started fly fishing about 2.5 years ago. And then I started tying flies about 2 years ago. And when I first started, it's really because when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I fished just pretty much all midges, and I was spending $2.50 a pop on midges, and then getting to the river and just dropping them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna use. I can't. Lost all the other black slaughter beads. I'm gonna put on a silver one for this one, just cause.
Cool.
How long have you been fly fishing?
I've been fly fishing for since 20. Shit, what was that? 2014, end of 2013, 2014, and then yeah, like a fly tying class right after I learned, and then after that, it was just like never had it. And then I bought like a small fly tying kit.
Yeah.
And then in the process of like moving apartments, it just like disappeared. And I was like,
That's
what?
fair. Yeah, I've moved. I think I've lived. Moving is the worst. I lose so much shit too. I've
Yeah,
moved 10 times in the last like 11 years.
damn,
Yeah.
like a nomad.
Yep. All right. So let's see. How'd you get into fly fishing? Any specific reason you started?
Just my grandfather was. I found out he was an avid angler, and showed me all his old reels and his a bunch of his saltwater stuff, and then allowed me to like go on his fishing trips with him and his buddies, and so it just started real small, and then once I started it, it was over.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, to have someone to show you. My dad brought us up fishing, but he spin fishes, so we grew up spin fishing. And then a couple years ago, my brother and I just decided to pick it up and give it a shot, fly fishing, and we were unemployed at the time. I think 2 months. We fished 60 days straight when we first started.
That's badass.
Couldn't stop.
Yeah, it was at the point where I was like, if I got to class early, I was going to fish. If I got off work for some reason, I was going to
Yep.
fish.
Yeah, we would even last year we were like getting off of work, driving like 2 hours, going to fish, night fish, drive home, go to work the next day.
That's what I'm doing this weekend. Or not this the end of this week. I'm going to see if I can smack some fish on some mice at night.
Dude, have you gone mousing before?
I haven't, but I just rumors, myths.
Yeah, you
I've heard,
got to do it. It's a completely absurd experience.
yeah, I'm for the CFS of the river to just bounce up a little, and I'm gonna head out.
Nice. All right. So if anyone came in late, we're just gonna tie another one. Can kind of walk you through it again. So I tie them on jig hooks, and I like hooks that have a beak point on them, so the point kind of curves up. Because I buy I try and fish barbless hooks, so that beak point kind of acts as like a fake barb.
I only fish treble hooks, everyone. So.
Yeah, that's what I actually fish too. I just tell people I fish barbless hooks. I put a worm on each treble hook too.
Yeah. All right, we're back to the front. Cool.
All right, so we're just starting our thread. We're gonna bring it all the way to the back, right to the hook bend.
Yes, yeah. Next session, next time if I get Bree lets me do one of these, I want to do a mouse. I want to do a mouse and time video.
That'll be cool.
That'd be badass. We fixed it. All right.
Perfect. All right, so thread back up to the front. And then we're using this diamond braid, or you could use any kind of like tinsel. If you have crystal flash laying around, you could use like, I would do like 3, 4, or 5 strands just clumped together, and you could use that as the body as well. I've also tied this with a red body. That works. You can try all different colors. All right, so tied in right behind the bead.
On the bead.
That's also why I love this fly. It's so simple. You could tie a bunch of them. All right. And then we'll bring the thread all the way back to the bend where we stopped our thread. Have you and Erica gotten out?
No, I've met her, I think twice, but we've never gotten a chance to fish.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think she might. Maybe she's here. Can't wait till we can all actually get together.
I know, and she's in the middle of fishing Haven.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Just kidding.
Where exactly is that? Which river?
Who knows, man? The Mississippi, the great
Yes, I hear there's monster fish in there. Great for fly fishing. All right. So we're gonna bring this the material back up, wrap it around the hook shank. Sometimes I wonder about that. Sometimes I just want to go to the Hudson River and fish a little there with a fly rod, get some stripers there.
Yeah, I mean, I went chase stripers 2 weekends ago or last week, and no luck.
I've done it a couple times. My buddy took me out last year for the first time, and man, that is exciting fishing.
I know. I even want. I'm okay with losing one.
Yeah. All right. So once you tie it back in, right behind the bead there, or you could leave a little space like we did. What's up, Eddie? You want to go hit the Hudson? All right. See, maybe I'll do since I did a silver bead, I'll do an olive this time. Same thing, don't forget, pull a little bit of the fur right off the front. Tie it in with a little space. Sometimes I'm tempted to just leave this whole thing like this. Just fish that.
I get a lot of bites. And then how far do we go back again? Do we go back to where we tied the braid?
So you'll want to tie the strip in probably like, you want to go back like maybe a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
So probably like, yeah, like a 1/4 of the way down the hook shank probably till the bend. What's up, Steve? Yeah, Big Steve. All right. Okay, so now same thing. And another trick if you want to like separate the fur. I don't know if you got one of these the bodkins, these little pokers.
Nope.
Nope, that's fine. But you could use a pencil, anything really. I just stick it in right where I want to cut it. So I'll poke it through, and then you could kind of push the fur forward like that and separate it. And then same thing if you wet it and just kind of stroke it forwards there.
Look at this, guys. We got DIY fly tying. You can find anything in your house for all this.
That's perfect. You got a toothpick or anything that'll work too?
I was almost gonna put my mouth on this, and I was like, I don't know where.
I'm just gonna snip that off. See how that looks. Probably made mine a little short, but that's all right. And then so the other thing, I know you don't have the flash, but this is something you can add.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're fishing and it's like muddy water and stuff, this helps add a little bit more color and sparkle to your fly. So if you have any kind of crystal flash like this,
Uh-huh.
I'll tie in 1 or 2 strands on each side. So let's see, I'll just tie it in right on, you can tie in the far side first. Let's see. Well, actually, I think an easier way might be if you have it, you take your flash, you loop it around your thread. Let's see. So you have it just like that. And then if you go over the top, it just secures it right there. And then now you have 2 strands, and I pull one to kind of either side.
Badass.
If I can do it. And then you tie backwards, and then it kind of captures the strands on either side. That one's all wonky, but it's just a little bit more color that the fish might see. And I usually trim it to like the length of the fur.
Cool.
You gotta pet the fly too, show it a little love. That's right. You stroke it. All right, so now peacock curl. And if anyone missed the beginning, take the tip ends here, just cut them off. They're a little stiff sometimes. If you tie them in there, they break. Okay. Tie it in right behind the bead. And then you bring it back to right about where you brought your thread back with the rabbit strip. And then you bring it all the way to the front again. Grab them all, just give it a bunch of wraps. I've also had this break and I've fished it without it, and fish will still eat it. But I feel like that peacock curl like undulates under the water a little bit.
Yeah.
Gives it a little bit more movement. And once you get right behind the bead here, bring your thread over and tie it in. You know what you should do with these? You should trail one behind your mouse.
Oh, really?
It actually I've had fish on the leech too. And I've known some people, they like to go out and they throw little leeches like this. They put it on a tag or they trail it behind a streamer at night. All right, then you just trim it off. Then you could whip finish, or you could do the little finger twist, your half hitches there. Throw.
Whoa,
Nice.
legendary.
I'll do it. Let's see. We'll take a look at these. I don't know, man. Yours look pretty dope.
Oh man, you don't have to say that.
I'm not just saying it.
So how do you fish these again?
So I'll usually just start and like when I'm nymphing, if I use that as, I'll fish it like a nymph. So what I like to do is I'll dead drift it. You could put any other nymph with it. And then as you dead drift it, and then at the end of the drift, I just let it swing, like an emerger, like you would with an emerging nymph. And you can then let it swing. I let it sit on the surface. I've had fish come up and like smack it on the surface too. And then I'll just hang it in the water, and then you could strip it. You could fish it like a streamer. Doesn't really matter. You just throw it in the water, and something will usually eat it. I've caught also trout, bass will eat it. Caught sunfish, perch. I've had a couple carp take it. I wasn't expecting,
That's badass.
which was wild because I was in a small river and fishing a 3-weight and 5X and hooked a carp. I definitely didn't land it.
Damn, man, I mean, I still got like another hour of sunlight.
Oh, you gotta go out. Oh yeah, that's right.
That's exciting.
You ever go for carp?
Oh yeah, I don't get them that much, but I absolutely love chasing them, and I've landed a few, but I haven't dialed it in yet.
Yeah, I haven't landed one on the fly rod. I've never actually went to target carp. I've
Yeah,
hooked those a couple by accident. I've caught one on the spin rod when I was a kid, but I wanna go for them this summer.
yeah, I tied some just shit with just fluff on it and a bead head.
Yeah,
And it yeah, I got them, but we're still learning.
yeah, for sure. I hear they're tough. That's
Yeah,
sad.
so
Somebody asked, was I on the Farmington? I actually wasn't on the Farmington today. I actually haven't been there in quite a while. Trying not to drive too far.
ton of carp by my house, and
Also in the Delaware. All
yeah,
right, some people got some carp spots. Yeah, we got to get out to LA too. Fish with Eric.
oh yep, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to just drop any carp spots, we're more than happy with that. We'll
Yeah,
drive.
we'll take the vise, some coordinates too.
We're on our way. Yeah. Well, thanks, David. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course. It was good to meet you, man, and hopefully sometime soon-ish we can all
Yeah,
get together and
fish
fish
together.
together in real life.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Bree and Confluence Collective
Yep. Brown
Anglers.
folks fishing and what was it HMH?
Thank you, Brown Folks Fishing Gang Gang. We'll see you guys later. You guys have a
All
good night.
right. Thanks everyone.
See you, David.
Later.